a lot of different play styles, a lot of ways to play this. Coming in from Evos-SG side, if they would want to have early game domination, they would put their Granger at the side lane for the EXP or
for the goal lane.
more for the goal lane, right? And then Harif will be able to go for early game setups. But if they just want to solely hyper onto the Granger, then it is what it is.
Or take away, or he opted for the flicker, so probably a flicker hook might come out from take away.
Not gonna be easy. We're looking at Evos-SG after all. But we're just gonna take a short little derail as I introduce to you guys the players and their lineup. Coming in the top lane, we are gonna be looking at Thamus fighting against the Lapu Lapu. Middle lane is literally a cluster. And speaking of the cluster, Evos-SG would want to push Impunity-SG away as fast as possible, as it is going to be a Bruno, a Fasa, and a Franco fighting against a Granger, Angela, and Rafaela. While the bottom lane, it is going to be a Benedetta fighting against this Harif. It does make sense though. Benedetta against Harif, it will work towards the side of Harif a little bit more than Benedetta fighting against this Granger.
I mean, I've got to say, just now, I hate to cut you off, but JPL got hooked by takeaway there and forced to use that Purify. And Purify is such an underrated spell, I would say.
Such an important resource.
It is an important resource. The moment the hook comes down, you press it, and if he's going to go and commit with the flicker, that's it. You're wasting off his flicker. And Purify, it's a 2-for-1. You know, you use one and you get two back in return.
It is going to be pretty scary for this game. I'm really looking forward to see how this game is going to work out. You pretty much see that the players are pretty much thirsty as they kind of get themselves a little bit of a refreshment, kind of pause things up. But speaking of refreshment,
H2O is one of our many sponsors and is actually specially formulated to effectively replenish lost fluids, minerals, and electrolytes for top performance. Oh, something's wrong with your eye. What's wrong with your eye, Eugene?
Something went in my eye again.
And that's where Sustain come in, and you know, 2 drops, 1 unstoppable you. But enough of that. We still have to continue on to H2O right now, and it actually hydrates you to keep your performance in check. You know, you can either choose the original H2O with no combination actually. If you're not a fizzy person like me, I personally do not like fizziness in any way. Or you can choose the original or the other one, which is the sparkling one.
And of course, now that we are back into the game, I hope that Impunity and Evos have got a great amount of time for a little bit of a refreshment. But back in here, Takeaway has now invaded into Evos-SG jungle, and it does seem like there is a lot of emphasis being put up in the northern region.
Very much. A lot of emphasis coming in, and it looks like they are trying to disrupt. Oh, good hook.
It's not a player that got hooked in the end. It is just a wild creep that Impunity hooked up. But at this moment of time, Impunity-SG, it does seem like they do have a little bit of a, advantage.
I would say.
Yeah, it's just like 500, about 200 only. It's not that big. But the control of the map is what's important. Because Evos-SG, they are afraid of Impunity. Their early game is pretty darn weak because of the lack of initiation as well as the lack of map control, because they have put so much utilities onto the side of Angela as well as Rafaela, whereby only the mid game then they will start to go online.
The hook onto JPL. JPL gets hooked, and the PM coming out from takeaway. Honestly, I would say Impunity-SG are taking control of the lanes right now in terms of early game. Right now, Impunity-SG in early game are winning in lane right now, as you can see from the Benedetta and the Harif, the Benedetta and the Thamus, but they are going to be rotating to the bot lane right now in the middle to bot river actually, and trying to catch out Evos and Takeaway, trying to do a little bit, trying to make something out of nothing here, and they are going to be disengaging and not going to engage in any sort of fight. But look at Takeaway trying to salvage and steal actually to invade the blue buff.
Impunity-SG, they need to do something real quick. They need to understand that this is a time for them to shine. They need to play a little bit more objective. They need to play a lot more aggressive, because once Evos-SG has reached the mid stages of the game, that is where things are starting to get a little bit
JPL
tough.
gets caught out, and first blood goes to Miku.
That is what I mean.
What a play. I mean, he was off position. Then the moment Franco uses his ultimate, that's it. Oh, but look at Potato. Potato doing a lot of damage onto Takeaway, but Takeaway gets to survive that. Look at Girl and Tiny. Here comes the land on the ulti from Girl. Girl, I guess Girl is actually just meant to be a fighter all along.
Yep. I gotta say this. Impunity SG, they have tried to push in the middle, although I would say not exactly the best idea to push in the middle for now. It's best for you to push in the bottom lane.
Oh,
and
Pokemon!
Now there is a ultimate reform from the side of Evos SG. This is where Evos SG will start to slowly take the game away from the side of Impunity. Take a look at this. The holy healing from JPL will definitely be more than enough to heal himself away and making sure that he don't die from the flame shot, which is exactly what happened.
They tried to body block for him, just like Leslie ultimate, but then he did not, but I mean, he still survived it. He missed it. They did not manage to body block him, but they still come out alive from there.
The clutch from the holy healing is more than enough to get him into a very optimal HP to stay alive. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this. We've Takeaway completely taken down because Pokemon does have his Zaman Force ready and available to bring down the World of Pain to the side of Impunity. This is the point of time where Evos SG will start to get favorable. This is why I said, Impunity SG, they need to do something in the early stages of the game. We are now in the middle of the early to the mid stage of the game. Evos SG is starting to ramp up with all of the ultimate statuses. They are starting to get their items.
Oh, look at Reminiscence catching Girl out, and here comes Tiny with the ultimate trying to catch out Girl, but the Hachiu comes in, and Girl is going to get caught out. Potato trying to do something about it, but it's going to get suppressed. And a double kill coming in from Reminiscence, just like you said, Abstract. Early game actually matters so much for Impunity SG, and Evos SG, based on their draft, they are going to be playing the late game.
And now Takeaway tries to get himself a little bit of a hook down the middle. Like I said before, it's not exactly something they will want to push out for, but if they can, go for it. It will be a lot easier for them to push out the side lanes first, then go for the mid lane in the later stages. But they understood that Granger is already down, so they can take the opportunity to bring down middle. My bad. I completely forgot that Granger went down.
He was instantly taken down. Look at this. Reminiscent catching down onto Girl. Instantly demolished. And look at Potato. Look at his positioning. He is so off guard, and Takeaway is going to flicker to him.
That crit damage from Reminiscent.
Exactly.
He's slowly getting himself right up into the game. And this is why the early stages of the game is so important for Impunity. They need to get the snowball action in. They need to get that gold economy a lot further away from Evos, because once we are reaching maybe somewhere around 12 minutes, Evos SG will have a lot more grounds to play with.
And resources too. I mean, they are basically depending on the late game, but Feather Airstrike comes down, not going to catch anybody here, and all the way from the back, Girl gets caught out by Takeaway, and the side of Impunity is going to lose his life.
Impunity SG looking pretty strong in this one. I may actually say that Impunity SG will have a pretty good chance against Evos SG. When it comes to their initiating factor, it is more of them jumping into the opponents. It's not really them jumping into opponents, that's what I tried to say. It's more of them pulling people in. And Evos SG, they don't have a lot of really good initiators. The only thing that they have is that they can go for a hard guard and go just jump right in, or Pokemon dropping down the Zaman Force with the Chrono Dash, and that will give him enough shields to kind of survive for a little bit.
And do not forget the cooldown using the Zaman Force. It's just going to keep going and going. But speaking of going, Tiny and JPL are going at it, and just like that, JPL provided space for Potato to take that tier 1 turret, and Pokemon taking a little bit of damage here. But it's just going to try to take down the tier 1 turret in the mid lane, but Takeaway is going to miss his hook. And it's just like that. They are going to be disengaging, but look at JPL. I just realized JPL loves to play in a very aggressive position, no matter what you're playing, no matter even Rafaela, you as a Rafaela, you should be playing the back line, but he's playing the front line. So that's a little bit unorthodox, but the stun comes down and instantly demolishes Miku, and Takeaway gets down too. Pokemon gets down too, and they are chasing into the turret. Reminiscence is going to go down. He's looking very low. Pokemon and Swoop are insisting on downing Reminiscence. Swoop goes down too, and Evos gains. What a trade right there. Tiny nearly making it out alive. Pokemon, what a clutch from Pokemon. I mean, Reminiscence nearly got away with a slither of health, but Swoop came in to swoop in the kill and just finish him off.
That sacrifice coming in from Evos SG is pretty much needed in some sense if they want to go for a lot of kills in that previous fight. They just sent Swoop and JPL into the Tiger's Den, allow them to be gnawed away, and the rest of the members from Evos SG just kind of come in and just close the game out. So Potato and Girl, they took pretty good opportunity from that Pokemon as well. He just went straight in, Zaman Force, with a really good chrono dancing. Yeah. And not to forget the hard gun onto Pokemon gave him a massive amount of shield. Massive.
Huge. I mean, that's your replacement right there for Esmeralda. You don't even need an Esmeralda now, even though it's actually open.
And now the Zaman Force popped right from Pokemon. But unfortunately, it does seem like Rum got himself far away from the Zaman Force, and Pokemon will not have the cooldown reduction in play. Evos SG, they will have to play things out a little bit slowly. They need to wait for the play the waiting game and just pick out individual members from Impunity SG while they kind of use the Lord as a...
Oh, they're trying to go for the Lord actually. They're not using the Lord as a bait.
Not at all. But until now...
Oh, are they?
It may very well seem to be as the Lord resets. The rest of the members coming in from Evos SG jumps right in with your Zaman Force being popped up by Pokemon. And here we go. The fans of S-Strike console right out. And Girl jumps right in. The rest of Evos, they are not going in at all.
Pokemon.
Now only they try to get himself out. But it doesn't seem like things are looking pretty darn good for the start of JPL as he used the Holy Healing. Gets himself away. They lost the control of the Lord. And now Impunity SG, they have gotten the control. They are all around the Lord, wrapping around like burritos, and they have less than half HP to work with. Will this be the point of time where Evos SG just trying to get themselves back into the game? Because the Lord is now taken away by Impunity with a 3,000 gold deficit in favor for Impunity for now. So Impunity SG, they would definitely want to end this game as fast as they can. Their lineup, especially for the side of Bruno, is starting to get more and more painful.
Exactly, and I have to emphasize on that. Exactly like you say, the Caster's Curse, they had Evos SG actually was almost equalizing actually, but as I said, Reminiscence gets taken down and so is takeaway. What an amazing catch on that. He was fast, he was quick, they were decisive, Evos SG. Evos SG actually had a deficit, but they were going for a equalizer almost for the goal, but then now they go back for the, it was further apart again and the equalizer comes back in. So it was such a quick and decisive decision for Evos. Like Evos said, if we don't take this fight, that's it. We are not going to be able to equalize the goal anymore since Reminiscence will be snowballing. But Reminiscence was there, so they saw the opportunity, and Evos actually took advantage of that opportunity.
This game is literally a stalemate at this point of time. I would say that Evos SG, they're kind of losing the early stages of the game solely because they don't have a very solid early game. Right?
Not much,
right? Not much. I mean, they do have some lockdowns in the form of heartstrings. We've got Lapu Lapu Stun. We're looking at the Holy Baptism from the side of Rafaela, and that is pretty much all there is to it. But the early stages of the game, they don't have something that is easily in their disposal to single out the enemies. They don't have very big AoE effect or whatsoever. It's more of, I go in, I want to stay alive, I want to outlive the opponents instead of dealing enough damage to kill them.
So it's basically about dealing damage and actually peeling for the team. They are not
In
much
some
of
sense,
they're not much of a stay here while I destroy you, right? So it's more of a I come in and give you 2 slaps and then you're done. You're dead immediately. Just like that, fast and quick and decisive. But on the side of Evos SG, they were more quicker. They were quicker to react against Impunity. But okay, initially to break it down for you guys, Impunity was actually having the lead, like you said, right? They were having the lead, and Evos SG actually nearly managed to capitalize and equalize at the same fact the goal lead, and then suddenly Impunity catches back again. Once they catch back, Evos SG comes out, they equalize back by taking Reminiscence down, and just like that, the goal are at the same level, but Impunity still have a slightly early goal lead there with a 1,000 goal lead as of now, just before the game pause.
I think the only concern from me is that I cannot, by any means, identify Evos SG's winning condition. I cannot identify it. The only thing I can see is that Pokemon, Girl, and Potato just gets really pumped up.
I think
like
they
get
are.
super pumped up, where to the point that JPL and Soup can help them, can help help the cores sustain.
Oh, look at Tiny going in onto Girl, and look at Girl just surviving all of that. And here comes the jump from Girl. Girl is still surviving.
Just face tanking him.
He's just tanking everything.
Not giving a damn in the world.
Oh.
Evos SG actually...
Wow, look at JPL actually zoning them out to, you know, actually secure it. But JPL gets a little bit caught out, gets a little bit of damage from Miku right there. But Evos SG is going to disengage very nice and fairly at an advantage of them taking the red buff from Impunity's jungle.
That was actually a pretty decent push coming from the side of Evos. They brought down the second tier turret in the bottom lane. They still have 2 more turrets to go, middle and top lane second tier turret, in order to seize the control of the map. On the other hand, Impunity, let's just take a look at that. Take away, completely gets melted down, and so will Bruno. So it does seem like this is the gameplay that really is the win con, to allow the cores, the Potato, the Pokemon, and the Girl to deal enough damage to completely wipe out Impunity and allow Evos to go greedy with the amount of sustainability that Evos is able to bring out onto the board. Here we go, the Zaman Force is going to be dropped right down, and Girl, Pokemon, as well as Potato, they're all grouped right up together, but yet none of them is going down at all, because Rum, he don't deal that much damage. The only thing that he can go is to go for his Corrin Inferno, stay alive, peel for everyone, and then someone deal the damage. Except for the fact that the one that needs to deal the damage, Reminiscent, is not there. Miku ain't there as well, or rather, he probably doesn't have the Feathered Airstrike. Tiny doesn't have Electo too.
Exactly, and what a play coming out from Evos SG there. I understand fully right now why JPL actually moved in front, because JPL was there. He wants to prioritize his ultimate onto the main, basically Reminiscence. That's why we always see JPL up in front, even though he's squishy. Yes, he's squishy, but he always catches onto Reminiscence. Take a look at this. Reminiscence gets caught out, he gets stunned up, he dashes away, but not in time. Pokemon is there to destroy him.
That was way too much shields to work with. And in the end, I wouldn't even say that Impunity did anything wrong. It's just that they got caught into Evos SG's trap. Because if Impunity did the same thing, set up a trap, and Evos SG stepped onto it, then it's very likely that Evos will lose out as well. It is all about who sets the trap. Who wins in setting up the trap? Does it work? Is it successful? Do they continue to greed it all out? Because Evos SG, they did not greed. They bring 2% down and they're done.
Exactly, and it's like you said, whoever sets the better trap will be the one successful over them. As of now, the goal is almost equal at a 200 deficit only. So that is basically, they're almost at a stalemate right now. And Evos SG, they are up by a little bit of kills, only 2 actually. And oh, well done right there, Girl and Tiny and Girl just going at it. But look at Rum. Oh, the spike goes on Potato, dashes away. Tiny all the way in the enemy backlines. JPL and Potato trying to chase down Tiny.
Oh!
Potato misses the finish. And look at that. Impunity takeaway is looking very low. They can't see Reminiscence. They're trying to catch on to Reminiscence. There we go. JPL is prioritizing the ultimate onto
the sustain.
Oh, he's trying to down Pokemon, but the shield is going from the Zaman Force, helps him. What a play from Pokemon. He saw the brink of death. He was literally at the brink of death until the shield comes out, and Tiny still comes out alive, but they are at a 5v3. JPL takes a lot of damage. Feather Airstrike coming down. Girl is stopping the Feather Airstrike. Here comes Tiny with Electro.
Electro is going to be used to try to bring down all of the creeps, but it does seem like they managed to do that. Pokemon goes down to the hands of this Benedetta, and followed by pushing Evos SG away from their own base. But one thing that they did not realize, or maybe they did, but is inevitable, is the fact that Evos SG will then head their way to the Lord. And speaking of the Lord, Impunity SG, with 3 of their members hiding around, or rather they are putting the dominance in here, ensuring that Evos SG do not get an easy Lord. They want to challenge for this. Takeaway will be there to make someone pass away if they try to go for the Lord. You know, just a simple, easy hook is more than enough to completely change the positioning of one of the Evos SG members, and just one hook is more than enough to bring either Potato, Girl, or Pokemon down.
That's right, but if you were going to hook the wrong person, what if you were to hook Girl? wave swoop together in his body right now. But oh, good lord, taken away. And look at Girl looking a little low. Tiny taking a bit of damage. Rum still sustaining throughout all this. Girl is still surviving, but Potato finishes him off. And look at Takeaway with the invincibility. Potato. Look at the side of Evos SG. They are pushing hard. It's a 4v2 right now onto Impunity SG. And looks like Evos is going for the end.
And my oh my, defensive airstrike coming from Miku right at the side of the core is definitely not going to do anything for him. Take away, trying to go for a little bit of pilling, trying to bring down the core, or rather he tried to bring down the creeps. But as a tank, what can you do? All you can do is to pull someone into the hearts of your team. And just like that, Evos SG got 2 wins in a row against our Impunity SG.